moment I walk out and see how big that arena is, I'm starting to think, I've got to get out of here.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Chris. Good to see you.
Good to see
I'm
you
Mari from CNN, Brazil. So I love the show. It's awesome seeing you as more than just a superhero, being vulnerable, scared, questioning yourself. Why did you decide to open up like that, and how did it feel?
It was sort of an unraveling of sorts and experiences. I didn't really know what the show would become the first season. I ended up having to sort of tackle some, not just physical challenges, but things that were emotionally confronting as well. And then the second season, again, it was kind of diving into the unknown. I had a lot more agency and perspective around what we were doing, because the first season I was more of a guinea pig, whereas this time around I was able to create the episodes and identify which things I was curious about and topics around health and wellness, but also what was personal to me. And I don't know, I enjoy the expedition into sort of trying to understand myself and trying to understand the psychology of all of us and human beings and what makes us tick, and our sort of purpose and why we struggle with some things and not others, and why some days we have all the sort of willpower and some days we have none, and why the ebb and flow and the fluctuation between it all. And then having feedback from an audience around what they received from it, and from educational and sort of the entertainment, but how they were able to utilize bits of information from all of these scientists and experts in this field to change their life and live a healthier, better life. I thought, well, what a great thing to put into the world, and I'm incredibly thankful to be a part of it, and to be able to offer up some of the information that I have been afforded or surrounded by.
And like you said, we know you're super strong physically, but this season also challenged your brain, especially in that episode with Ed Sheeran. Where did the idea to work with him come from?
My producing partner, Ben Grayson, had brought it up, and initially I thought, that's a terrible idea, sounds like way too much work. And then on sort of further consideration, I thought, it's the more challenging things that are going to offer up the biggest lessons, and if I can summon up the sort of the willpower to commit, then there might be something rewarding at the end of it. But also for, defense against cognitive decline, and learning an instrument is incredibly powerful. And so I thought, why not? And then I went and met with Ed Sheeran, and he suggested the drums, and I thought it was going to be in front of a small group of people, and he said, no, it has to be in front of 70,000 people. So yeah, it was the most daunting task I've had in front of me, the most intimidating one, but a pretty special feeling afterward, the sort of elation, the endorphins, the kind of all of the joy that came with kind of having pushed through some big fear barrier.
And how much of the show did you bring into your own life? Like, did you encourage family or friends to learn a new instrument? Did you share learning techniques?
Yeah, I think just what I would share, I guess, was, I think what I took away from the show was the benefit of stepping outside your comfort zone and stepping outside the familiar space into the unknown, the unfamiliar, and that builds further resilience, and I think having the brain continue to learn and forcing it into places where it has to adapt is incredibly important for cognitive health, and dispelling or pushing aside a lot of the security blankets and comforts that we're all afforded in this sort of this world we live in currently, and seeking out new adventures, seeking out the things that are a little more confronting, a little more intimidating, and where there's a higher element of risk. I think there's all sorts of beneficial evidence that's beneficial around health and wellness and emotional state and physical state as well.
And after watching the show, I gotta ask, Chris, is there anything you cannot do?
I don't think I could climb that damn wall again. There's plenty I can't do. I mean, there's plenty that scares me. There's plenty that worries and concerns me. And I think, like everyone, the biggest obstacle is your own sort of thought pattern and inner sort of narration and voice and storytelling. It's like that's your best friend or your worst enemy, and trying to wrangle that into some place of agreement is it's a daily challenge, but as it is for all of us, you know.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You can do this. Look at me. Look at my eyes. Say Jenga. It's not even that bad. I'm fine.